What we know is a drop. What we don't know is an ocean. If I have seen further, it is by standing on the shoulders of giants. I do not know what I may appear to the world, but to myself, I seem to have been only like a boy playing on the seashore. I have been diverting myself in now and then, finding a smoother pebble or a prettier shell than ordinary, whilst the great ocean of truth lay all undiscovered before me. Truth is the offspring of silence and meditation. A man may imagine things that are false, but he can only understand things that are true. If I have ever made any valuable discoveries, it has been owing more to patient attention than to any other talent. No great discovery was ever made without a bold guess. To explain all nature is too difficult a task for any one man or even for any one age. Much better it is to do a little with certainty and leave the rest for others that come after you. I keep the subject constantly before me and wait till the first dawnings open slowly, by little and little, into a full and clear light. Errors are not in the art, but in the artificers. He who thinks half-heartedly will not believe in God, but he who really thinks has to believe in God. I can measure the motion of bodies, but I cannot measure human folly. Genius is patience. It is the weight, not numbers of experiments, that is to be regarded. To me, there has never been a higher source of earthly honor or distinction than that connected with advances in science. We are to admit no more causes of natural things than such as are both true and sufficient to explain their appearances. There are more sure marks of authenticity in the Bible than in any profane history. Nature is pleased with simplicity. Nature does nothing in vain. And nature is a perpetual circulatory worker, generating fluids out of solids and solids out of fluids. To every action, there is always opposed an equal reaction. Gravity explains the motions of the planets, but it cannot explain who sets the planets in motion. This most beautiful system of the sun, planets, and comets could only proceed from the counsel and dominion of an intelligent and powerful being. The moon gravitates towards the earth, and by the force of gravity is continually drawn off from a rectilinear motion. The centers of the ocean, planets, and comets are all subject to the same laws of motion. I deduced that the forces which keep the planets in their orbs must be reciprocally as the squares of their distances from the centers about which they revolve. God created everything by number, weight, and measure. The motions which the planets now have could not spring from any natural cause alone. Light is composed of rays that are differently refrangible. Every body continues in its state of rest or of uniform motion in a right line, unless it is compelled to change that state by forces impressed upon it. The universe is a cryptogram set by the Almighty. The unseen world is as real as the seen world. Space is the sensorium of God. Nothing can be divided into more parts than it can possibly be divided into. Are not rays of light very small bodies emitted from shining substances? The description of right lines and circles upon which geometry is founded belongs to mechanics. All variety of created objects which represent order and life in the universe could happen only by the willful reasoning of its original creator. Plato is my friend, Aristotle is my friend, but my greatest friend is truth. Truth is ever to be found in simplicity and not in the multiplicity and confusion of things. My powers are ordinary. Only my application brings me success. Rules I had established for reasoning in philosophy. In the absence of any other proof, the thumb alone would convince me of God's existence. You have to make the rules, not follow them. We must not admit more causes of natural things than those which are true and sufficiently explain their phenomena. Therefore, to the same natural effects, we must, as far as possible, assign the same causes. Mathematics is the language in which God has written the universe. It is the perfection of God's works that they are all done with the greatest simplicity. If I am anything, which I highly doubt, I have made myself so by hard work. To explain all nature is too difficult a task for any one man. Let me think. When two forces unite, their efficiency double. Every particle of matter in the universe attracts every other particle with a force. The changing of bodies into light and light into bodies is very conformable to the course of nature. I have a fundamental belief in the Bible as the Word of God, written by those who were inspired. I study the Bible daily. Atheism is so senseless. When I look at the solar system, I see the Earth at the right distance from the Sun to receive the proper amounts of heat and light. This did not happen by chance. He rules all things, not as the world's soul, but as the Lord of all. The Supreme God is a being eternal, infinite, absolutely perfect. Blind metaphysical necessity, which is certainly the same always and everywhere, could produce no variety of things. Opposition to godliness is atheism in profession and idolatry in practice. Christ comes as a thief in the night, and it is not for us to know the times and seasons. I believe the more I study science, the more I believe in God. As a blind man has no idea of colors, so have we no idea of the manner by which the all-wise God perceives and understands all things. God is the same God, always and everywhere. We know Him only by His most wise and excellent contrivances of things and final causes. We reverence and adore him on account of his dominion. A God without dominion, providence, and final causes is nothing else but fate and nature. The true God is a living, intelligent, and powerful being. His duration reaches from eternity to eternity. His presence from infinity to infinity. He is entirely without body and bodily figure, and therefore can neither be seen, nor heard, nor touched. The times of the birth and passion of Christ, with such like niceties, being not material to religion. Trials are medicines which our gracious and wise physician gives because we need them.